why I'm becoming Iron Man. So this is a question I've been asked now for the last decade, not just in the last 5 years when I started posting my content, but people, including my own family members, my friends, some of the closest people in my life have asked me why I am so determined to become the real life Iron Man. And I'm going to be explaining all that in this video. So firstly, just an introduction. My name is Nikolai Alexander Vidala, and I am currently 26 years old. I turned 27 on September 25th, 2025, and today is April 2nd, 2025. So, at the time before I turn 27, I want to make sure that I, first of all, document where I'm at in my own life right now, and also document my current progress, everything I've done up to this point, and also make sure to tell everyone what I want to do for the foreseeable future. And I've been posting kind of videos on a separate channel for actually like over 2 years now, just kind of documenting my journey. And I'll keep that kind of on the back burner for now. But anyway, I'm gonna get right into it. So I got into Iron Man, and I guess Marvel in general, in 2012 when the movie Avengers came out. I wasn't like most people that got into it in 2008 when the first Iron Man film came out. I was a little bit of a late bloomer, and I got into it like 4 years later, around like May or July. And so after seeing the movie Avengers, I was captivated by, first of all, only one scene in particular where Tony Stark is in an argument with Loki on Stark Tower, and Loki throws him through the window off the balcony, and he plummets towards the city ground, right? And the Mark 7 shoots out from the wall like a rocket, follows him as he's falling, and then the suit, literally the capsule, like opens up around his body and like forms around his arms and his legs, and he just like, and then he literally like the suit assembled itself around his body, and then he like flew away at like the last second. And like, even just talking about like that scene, I think is the main thing just right off the bat that inspired me to build this suit and bring this dream to reality. Not just for me, but also for the world, because to this day we still don't have anything even remotely close to what we've seen in the movies, and that's something that I think I was meant to do. After seeing that, I realized that that was my destiny. That was what I am on this earth to accomplish. And I've spent the last decade now trying to bring that dream to reality. I've spent, this year, I believe 13 years I've been working on building Iron Man suits. Now, I originally started with popsicle sticks, cardboard, and hot glue. So I've actually come quite a bit, I've come quite far when you think about where I started from. I literally started from like Legos, I started from like age 4 up to, I'd say like 12, 13, I did Legos, and then like 13 to 14, I did like popsicle sticks, cardboard, hot glue, and then 15 years old onwards, I started experimenting with steel, aluminum, like very light metals, and then I got into more like heavy duty, thick gauge steel. I got into iron. I got into just top my whole world kind of changed, and I started using real world materials, copper, aluminum, steel. Pretty much like the main metals. And ever since then, I have been on a quest to bring to life the world's most realistic Iron Man suit. Now, I'm not making the suit. I just want to get this straight. I'm not making the suit exactly like you see in the movie. Like, I'm not going to have Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. suit that you see in the movie. It's not going to be the exact same, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring my own design to the table while using the same functionality you see in the movies. So basically, like an Iron Man suit that has the exact same functions but looks completely different. That's basically what I'm trying to do, which is basically like a hybrid between let's just say Tony Stark's Mark II Iron Man suit and a few other kind of concepts and inspirations from several different shows and movies. I'm kind of throwing some RoboCop, throwing some of the Clone Trooper, Phase 2 armor design. I'm kind of experimenting with that. Maybe even some Thor and some Batman as well. I'm incorporating a lot of styles from Batman. So it's going to be the suit that I'm designing right now is going to be a hybrid of a whole bunch of different inspirations, not just Iron Man. It's going to be like a whole collection, basically, like an entire mixture of concepts and designs that have existed for now over like 20 to 30 years. So I'm really excited to do that. And that's going to be more so the Mark II, or I should say the ITV2. Right now, I'm working on the ITV1 suit, which is basically be like a Iron Man Mark I suit that is more symmetrical. So imagine a Mark I suit that's basically made out of junk, just like original Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s. But the suit, instead of like having like, mixed match pieces and stuff, they're still mixed matched, but the orientation makes it appear relatively symmetrical. So that way, the suit will have kind of more of a symmetrical feel to it. I think it's actually even more of a challenge to use a whole bunch of random scrap parts and make the suit symmetrical as opposed to just having it asymmetrical. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I'm doing for the ITV1, which is the current suit I'm about to be in. I was supposed to start the suit, the ITV1, on January 1st, 2025, and I posted a video on TikTok that got, oh my goodness, it got millions of views, and it actually landed me over 100,000 followers in less than 24 hours, which is a personal record for myself, and also I think on social media, because I have not seen really anyone that I know at least get 100,000 followers in less than 24 hours. I actually documented it on my separate YouTube channel, which I'll reveal at some point. I'm kind of saving it for, I don't know, rainy day. But yeah, so anyway, so besides that, so I wanted to make this video. This is something that I actually wanted to do kind of like last fall, last winter, before January 1st, 2025. But I've been so busy. I've been starting my own company, Navtech Enterprises, which I actually announced last April on the solar eclipse. I announced it then, and I actually just started it this past like November, December, and now it's actually being legalized. And I'm actually working now with small businesses, which has been my primary focus for like the last like 3 to 4 months, I'd say. So I've had to put my content in the back burner, which is, it's a frustrating compromise, because I want to work on the content, and I also want to work on my company, because I've wanted to make my company for like the last decade now. So, it's kind of like a hot and cold, like pick your poison, it's like, do you work on the company and let your suit slide, or you work in the suit and let your company slide? It's kind of like, so that's been hard to balance. And on top of that, just like struggling to pay finances. I have right now, no phone service. I just got my phones turned off yesterday, so I can't call or text right now. I've been in like a very hot and cold, financial situation now for the last like 3 years, roughly. Mainly just because I've been working like part-time and full-time jobs, like in and out. I haven't kept a job for over a year. I've never worked at the same job for over a year, just because like, between COVID and then moving and then having inconsistent work up here in the North Country, which has been very challenging. There's been a very minimal amount of jobs up here, so it's been very hard for me to kind of settle into something. The jobs up here don't pay a lot. They, they're fickle. I'm not really a huge fan of working full time in general, just because, like, again, it leaves me barely any time between my personal life, to work on this stuff, which is what I've been trying to do for the last several years. I started posting originally in January I think it was March 29th, 2020, like right as the pandemic was starting during COVID. I started posting on TikTok, and that's where I kind of started my social media journey. Was actually 5 years ago now. And actually around this exact time, 5 years ago, I started social media. And it went really well. My first few videos went insanely viral. I got several millions of views. 200,000 followers later, I ended up having to move later that fall, and I lost my house. Had to move up here, and I had to put all my stuff in storage. Anyway, I basically put my content in the closet for like a few years, and I just barely posted. I didn't really build much. I built like a prototype Mark II, or I built a prototype ITV2 helmet back in 2023, which I actually never even revealed. It's actually been like this kind of secret thing that I haven't shown anyone. It's in a glass case in my my house right now, but that was really cool. But yeah, other than that, I haven't built much, and it's been driving me nuts. And I think that, ironically, in the last few years, I've actually been just collecting every time I go to the dump, the transfer station, I've just been collecting parts and pieces for when I eventually get back into building the suit, which is now the ITV-1. Or I guess I should say the Mark 1 suit. So I'm at a point now in 2025 where I've spent the last 2 to 3 years collecting all these scrap parts, and now I have quite literally everything I need to make an entire new suit, which far exceeds what I built back in 2020. The ITV, I like to call it the ITV-0, which is the original suit I made during the pandemic. That is going to be dwarfed by the suit I'm about to create in this shed. Like, when I'm dead serious. The suit that I've been planning now for the last, like, 2 to 3 years is going to be unlike anything the world has ever seen. It is going to be the best Iron Man suit ever designed, and I am so happy to start it. I cannot wait to start this suit. It is going to change the world. It's going to change my life. I actually have a video from 2 years ago, back in, I think, September 10th, around that time, 2023. And in the video, and this is right after I couldn't go to Open Sauce because my Jeep died, and I was having a rough time, and I made a video. It was actually like 10 days before I lost my job at that time. But I made a video, and in that video, I specifically said, and this is 2 years ago, that the key to everything in my life is this suit. This suit is the key to everything in my life. My entire future, everything. I mean, this suit is going to unlock so many doors for me and so many realities after I build this. And it did, like, 5 years ago. Like, and I'm still posting the same content after 5 years. I'm posting the same content, and it's still going viral. Like, after half a decade. Think about that for a second. So, can you imagine if I make a suit that's 20 times better? I'll have content for the next 10 years. I mean, millions and millions. I mean, I've had tens of millions of people that have seen my content and my suit. And I know that once I build this next suit, the ITV-1, my life is going to change forever. It is going to change like night and day. I mean, and honestly, just to be personal with whoever's watching this video, it's a little intimidating. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually, it's like, the best thing I can think of is when Liam Neeson, plays Ra's al Ghul in the first Batman film, and I guess the later ones too. When Ra's al Ghul is telling Bruce Wayne, you fear your own power, your ability to do great and terrible things. That's, besides the terrible things part, that is actually exactly how I feel. Like, I almost fear my own power because I know the impact and the fame I will get off of it, and it's actually kind of frightening. Like, I know that sounds kind of stupid. People are like, oh my God, like, why are you afraid to be famous? Like, why are you afraid? Because I've seen over the last, well, now like 10 years, but more specifically in like the last 5, I've seen people like go from nothing to fame, and I've seen them, like, you know, rise and fall. And I just, the bigger you get, the more problems you actually have. And it's kind of weird saying that from my perspective, because I'm not even, I never even got like truly big. But everyone I've listened to has said that, like, you know, the more money you get, the more famous you get, your problems actually kind of increase in a weird way. Like, little things like money, that gets solved, but now it's like, okay, now I have so much money, now I gotta make sure, like, I don't get robbed, I gotta have a safe place to store my money, I gotta make sure, like, I have people around me I can trust, I gotta make, like, it's like all these new factors now that you have to worry about. It's like a whole new, you know, and I think that after witnessing, what happened to me back in like 5 years ago, I think that it's like a little intimidating. And also, another thing that ties into that is I had a lot of really awful stuff happen to me personally back in 2020, and to me, to my family. Both my grandparents passed away within like 9 months of each other. I mean, I had like a lot of stuff that is attached to that time period, which is also attached to my building as well, because that's like when I started doing all this stuff. So in a sense, like, I'm afraid, I feel like in my subconscious, not like, I don't like to think about this like all the time, but like, I think in my subconscious, I've also been afraid of like, starting all this again, because it brings back like, even my heart's like racing just thinking about it. It's like, it brings back like all the things that I went through, and I'm afraid to like feel that again. It's like kind of like PTSD, I guess. It's like my building and that time period and all the things that happen are kind of like, they're kind of tied now. They're kind of correlated, and it's a really hard thing to deal with. And it's actually, I think, prevented me from starting this for a while now. So there's a lot of different reasons to why I haven't started, but I'm gonna get back to the overarching question, because I've been just kind of telling my story, which is fine, but I want to really get into it. So why I'm becoming Iron Man. I've already told you basically like how I started, my journey, my past, all that. Now kind of tying to the present. So why I'm becoming Iron Man. So I'm becoming Iron Man because, firstly, no one else has done it yet. No one else has decided to be a real life superhero. Now, there are people who have decided to make Iron Man suits. There are people who have decided to, come close and, be, have the suit. But there's no one that's done it the way that I've always envisioned it. There's no one that's made the suit and also got like not just like pieces of the suit. Let me specify, because there are creators out there who have made pieces of the suit, but not the full suit. I want to specify that, because there are lots of people like, oh, they've already done it. No, they haven't. No, they haven't. No one has made a full suit and has gotten super rich and famous and also has decided to be a philanthropist. No one has done that yet. And also have the fancy cars, lifestyle, and the publicity. Like, no one's done that yet. And I have felt that it is my destiny to be that guy. It is my destiny. And I've felt this now for over a decade. And it's caused a lot of problems for me at home. Like, my parents all throughout like middle school, high school were like, thinking I'm delusional. I'm in my own little world. Like, I'm never going to be successful because I'm built. Like, I'm in this little world of my own, think I'm crazy. But 2020 proved to me that is not true. I'm not in my own world. I mean, I have a vision, I have a vision for myself and the life I want to live. And I'm on a journey to bringing that vision into reality. So that's kind of where I'm at. And I feel that it is my destiny to become Iron Man. And, how do I even put this? God, my dog will not stop barking. Oh my goodness. How do I put this? I'm also becoming Iron Man because I want to help people, and not just like, the cliche, like, oh, I want to give money to homeless people. I want to be like Mr. Beast. It's not like that. It's like, I want to just help my family. I want to help my family. I want to help my fiance. I want to help the people that I care about first. I want to help the people in my circle, like my best friends, the people who are around me who I love and I want to take care of and see succeed. And they're struggling. This world is not wired for you to succeed. This world is wired for you to be a slave. And that's just the sad truth. This world is designed for people to, go to high school, then go to college, study a major, get a job for that major, and then work at that job for like 40, 50 years, maybe 40, and then retire and then die. That's the way this world is designed, and that's just the way it is. And I refuse, and I've always just felt this. I refuse to live I refuse to live in that paradigm. I'm not going to live in that paradigm. I refuse because first of all, I refuse to be a slave, and second, I will never achieve what I want to achieve by just working the same job for 40 years. I can't do it. And it's not just because I don't want to do it, it's because for my vision that I have for myself, there is no reality, there is no timeline in which I'm able to work at a same job full time for 40 years, be happy, and have enough time to take care of, my family and, my fiance and build and make my content. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So, taking that into consideration, it's forced me to be in this path of isolation and to just, again, I don't have a mentor. I don't have someone in my family or my friend group who I can be like, hey, how did you do this? I'm like on my own, and I've always been on my own. And it's been very challenging because, I've told people like what I want to do. I've told entrepreneurs, I've told millionaires what I want to do. And they're all like, well, good luck with that. Like, like it's so challenging. It's so hard because nobody's done what I want to do. So I'm really the only person I have who I can bounce ideas off of. I can brainstorm. Like, I am it. Like, there's no one else, And, when I tell people I want to be Iron Man, I'm like, I want to be famous, I want to be an entrepreneur, they're like, okay, well, I hope that works well for you. Like that's the answer I get. And it's just like, man, it's been really defeating, and it's been really hard to move forward when you're the only one doing what you want to do. Like I have people who make, I know a whole bunch of people who make Iron Man suits, and the other cosplayers, they 3D print, a very, very select few actually build like I do with metal and everything, but nobody else has my vision. Nobody else like wants to be famous like me. And like, I am that guy. Like, I am that person who has that specific vision. And I just, I want to be able to just, first of all, help myself, because I've been, like I mentioned before, I've been in this financial situation for years, and I can't seem to get out of it. As much as I've tried working these full-time, part-time, whatever, I've tried it all. I've tried working these jobs. I've tried being, fitting into that little, the guy in the cubicle just doing his work to get the paycheck. I've tried being that guy, and it never works. It has never historically worked out for me. It's always either led to me being fired because I'm not catching on, or I'm just, or just me getting, tired of poor management and people above my head who don't know what they're doing. It's always been just, it'll never work out. It will never work out. And it's led me to believe that this is the only path I can actually walk down. This is the only choice I have, is to make my own path and become my own boss and to do the things I want to do based on my schedule. And, it just, again, I can't help the people I want to help if I can't even help myself. That's been my problem. And it's been like, okay, so how do I help people? Okay, I need money. Okay, how do I get more money? Well, I'm not making any money with social media, so get another job, try this business idea, and like I'll usually like try both. The business idea will fail, and then I'll get sucked into like, working the job for a while, and it's just like this vicious cycle. So, and I'm always in debt. I'm always having to pay these like horrendous bills. My phone bill is like $2,100. It's like over $2,000. Like I just, what else do I do? And I've come to the crossroads and the conclusion that I just don't care. I don't care anymore about the debt. I don't care anymore about all this crap, all this real world stuff, these commitments, oh, this bill's due, oh, I gotta show up for this. I don't care anymore, because The bills are always going to be there. I'm always going to be in some kind of debt. I'm positive of that. I'm always going to owe something. So why should I let that keep me from doing what I want to do? Because the way I see it, the thing I want to do has made me the most money in the shortest amount of time ever compared to anything else I've ever done. Like, it's just a fact. Like, I seriously have made so much money doing this, and I've let all these other real world factors like bills and jobs and just crap take me away from this, and it's kept me from being the person I want to be, and it's kept me from being the person that is able to help my friends and my family. So at this point, I just don't care anymore. I'm not going to let all this overhead nonsense, these bills and these crazy things I have to pay, I'm not going to let that get to me anymore. I'm just going to just build and just do what I need to do. And the rest, you can look back to this video for reference. I feel that once I do this and once I just say screw all to everything and just build the suit, I feel like all my problems will be solved. So unfortunately, my phone did just die during the filming of this, of course. So again, just to reiterate, I've made the most money doing what I like to do. So why am I going to let all these factors continue to control my life? I'm not. I'm done. I am done. Yes, I'm still going to work my part-time job, but I'm not going to go looking for like another full-time job and get sucked into that. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. So I'm going to just get started. I'm just going to hit this harder than I've ever done before. I'm just going to start building and making content and doing that full time because that's something that I want to do for the rest of my life. There's never going to be a time in my life where I'm not going to want to make Iron Man suits and make my content, and the other side of this too is that I'm not just, starting this vlog series to show off me making Iron Man suits. I titled the vlog series Becoming Iron Man for a reason. I did that because it encapsulates the entire journey, the whole process, not just building the suit, but becoming Iron Man in all by definition. Iron Man is like, literally by definition, genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. That is Iron Man. And the whole goal of this vlog series is to show how I'm going to become that. And I just, it's just my destiny. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, and even after all this time, nobody has done it the way that I've always envisioned it. So it must mean that by law, like, it is up to me, that's just how I see it. So, while I'm not the smartest, while I'm not the most financially stable, while I'm not the most handsome, I am still going to become the real life Iron Man. I'm going to get rich. I'm going to get jacked. I'm going to get financially independent and successful. And I'm going to build the hell out of this suit. I am going to build the best suit mankind has ever seen by any hobbyist or anyone in general. The fact that I'm going to be building what I'm going to be building, the fact that I'm going to build what I intend to build by myself is going to blow some people's minds because I have spent years envisioning and thinking, brainstorming, scheming, plotting, planning how I'm going to do this. And now I know exactly how I want it to be done. And once I build it, it is going to change the world. I know that to be true. It is going to change the world. And the last part of this video that I want to just briefly go into is I'm not just doing this, for myself, for my family, my friends, for the world. I'm doing this also because, well, I guess technically this will go along with family, but I'm doing this for my kids because in the next 2 years, I intend to start my family. I've actually had a fiance now, which I don't think most people even know that. I've been engaged now since last fall, and I've been in this relationship now for over 3 years. So we met December 2nd, 2021, and started dating very soon after that. And now we've hit 3 years, and, we want to start a family and having kids in the next 2. So What does that mean for me? What does that mean for Iron Man and my content, my journey? It means that in this very, very small window of time that I have left, very small, I need to give this everything I have, because if I don't do this right now, I am never going to do it. And it's eventually going to be someone else to replace me. And I won't let that happen, because I have the skill, I have the charisma, I have the mind to do exactly what I want to do in actually a very, very small amount of time. And I want to do this for my kids because I want their dad to be the real life Iron Man. I want my kids to grow up with their dad being a real life superhero. That is what I want for my children. And, you know, as well as, doing that for my parents and the rest of my family, I want my kids to grow up with a dad who can provide and always have food in the fridge and always have the lights on and never have to worry about, always the heat going out. Do we have water still? Like, those are problems I'm having right now for myself. And I will be damned if I let my kids go through the same problems, all because I couldn't become the real life Iron Man, because I was either too lazy or too time consumed by other things like a job or whatever. I will never forgive myself if I let that happen. And like I said, this is the last chance I have to making this dream a reality. This is the last chance I have as a man, as a human being, to bring my vision to life. A lot of people now, a lot of these content creators, they get started in their teens. They get started, 15, 16 making content. I mean, I see 19-year-olds now on, and again, this isn't everyone, by the way. Most people, all they see, because with social media, once you click on something, then the algorithm's like, oh, you like to see this? And they populate with everything else it can possibly find that's close to that. So, people are like, oh, all I see is millionaires. It's like, that's because that's all you watch. That's because that's all you are looking at. So the algorithm's going to pick all those people to throw it in your face because that's what you're watching. So, but take my word for it. Not everyone's a 19-year-old millionaire, okay? Not everyone is a teenage millionaire and is super rich and has freaking Lamborghinis. That is such a minuscule and small percentage of people. And most of those people actually live in the same areas as well. So, but it's very easy to get caught up in the competition. Like, oh my God, I don't have a Lamborghini. I'm not 19. I'm 25. I'm 30. I'm 40. I'm 50, and I don't have anything. It's stop comparing. And I had to learn this for myself. Stop comparing yourself to these people, because your journey is so much greater. Your journey is so much better than theirs, and your journey is different than theirs. I always tell myself, I'm like, this person may be rich, but they're not Iron Man. They don't have kids like I do. They don't have a loving wife like I do. They don't everybody has something that nobody else has. Okay, that's just the point I'm trying to make here. So, everybody's journey is different, and I want whoever's watching this to remember that and keep that in the back of your mind, is that not everyone is living with what you have. So, just take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I guess to sum up this whole video, which is now 2 parts, because of course both my phones are at 17%. Before I started this video, I forgot to charge them, and then they both died at the same time. So, I guess to sum up this whole video, my name is Nikolai Vidala, and I'm the real life Iron Man. And I've spent the last decade perfecting my craft on building the most realistic Iron Man exosuits ever designed that this world has ever seen. And right now, on April 2nd, 2025, I am about to embark on a journey that will change my life forever. And also with that, change the world. So, welcome. Thank you for watching if you've been here for a significant amount of time, because I've been doing content now for 5 years. So if you've been around since then, thank you so much. And I look forward to showing you what I'm about to do, because I truly believe that once I do what I'm about to do, The world, as I know it, will never be the same. And it will show people that there are real life superheroes out there that you may not even hear or see, but nevertheless are doing something great. And I hope to be an example of one of those people. So with that, thank you for watching. Nikolai Vidala, 26 years old, and let's go. Oh, and one more thing. I don't know how I almost forgot this. This is like the most important part of the entire video. I almost didn't say it. Is one thing. It is up to you and only you to shift your life to where you want it to be. It's true. It is up to you and only you to shift your life to where you want it to be. Goodbye.